funny guy, and this is his podcast, In the Rye. It's the In the Rye Podcast. Curt Fletcher.
Thanks for tuning in. It's episode 46 in the Rye Podcast with Curt Fletcher. My guest today is comedian Steve Mudflap McGrew, who I've gotten to know over the last 5 years or so. Super nice guy, very funny. Super excited to talk to him. So let's go chat with Steve. All right.
Oh,
all right.
The meeting is being recorded. What? I guess that's the first time I've ever seen the warning. I've done these before, but that's the first time I've ever got a.
Oh, really? Yeah, I just did an update, so I don't know if that's new.
Oh,
I bet it's probably new.
Warning! This was being recorded.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I am well. Good is not the right verbiage. I am well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Aren't you tired of people correcting your grammar for everything in this day and age?
No, I have perfect grammar, Steve.
Oh, you does?
Yeah, it does. Actually, I used to have a joke where I can't remember where I was, but this older man comes up to me. I was wearing an Iowa shirt, and he's like, "Oh, are you from Iowa?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I like people from Iowa. They speak good English." I was like, "Yeah, he does."
Yeah, gooder than everybody else.
He thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, well, here we are. I am thrilled to be on your podcast. I mean,
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I see it when it gets posted. I check it out. You have great guests, and I'm like, how come Curt never wants to have me on his show? And then Curt asked me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on the Curt Fletcher podcast. Yeah.
I know. I meant to record with you when we worked together in was it Little Rock?
Yeah.
And then I think I forgot one of my microphones or something like that. But
yeah, you were having there were other issues. You were having computer issues, I think, that time too, because
yeah, that's right.
You were videotape had videotaped some of your stuff, and you were like, my editing is taking forever in this computer.
Yeah, I got a new computer, and editing has been working pretty awesome. So
there you go. What'd you get?
A new MacBook.
Oh,
yeah.
My wife and I were talking about that today. I've always been a PC, always. You know,
oh, yeah?
But I have an iPhone, and she has an iPhone. We both have iPads, and she's like, maybe we should just convert. And I'm like, what? But we have all this money and everything PC. But she goes, but we could be just connected. Everything would be all in the computer. And
I could charge my phone with my computer. I can, take a clip from my podcast and transfer it to my phone, like, without emailing it and stuff like that. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, but then you become a slave to Apple.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to put a mark on my cheek. I'll have to put a mark on my cheek like Prince or something. An Apple logo.
I bet people do have that tattooed somewhere on their body.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw a thing the other day about people getting those QR codes tattooed on them.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah, for different things, like their website or their business or their just personal info. Like, hit me up, scan me.
That's funny.
I guess that's white trash chipped. You can't afford to get chipped. You're like, yo, there's my tat, scan me.
Yeah. Let's get a business card.
Yeah. Remember those?
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the new business. We could just open up a tat card, where people used to run and get 500 cards for $9. You could just run over. Yeah, we'll tat your card for $9.95. We'll tat any hand for $9.95.
Right now, my forehead.
That's a little more expensive.
Oh, that's great. Do you have any tattoos?
I do. I have, let me think for a second. I have a giant one on my shoulder.
Okay.
And then it's my dog.
Giant? I'm just kidding.
It's my dogs.
Oh, cool.
It's three dogs. And then then here I have the Mudflap girls tattooed on my arm.
Okay.
Mudflap. And then I have the Wi-Fi signal over here. It's just what it is. It's the Wi-Fi logo because I was making money streaming my album stream on net, and I had YouTube channels. All that Wi-Fi is making me some money.
Uh-huh.
And the day that I was in the chair getting the Wi-Fi tattoo, my wife comes over and goes, we were in Nashville at the time, and she goes, "Did you hear that Greg Allman just died?" I go, "No, what? Are you serious?" Yeah, and she showed me the story. So, in his honor, I got another tattoo right underneath the Wi-Fi of a music note with flames on it.
Cool.
I mean, it has nothing to do with Greg Allman, but to me, it's music. That was like, yeah, because I love flames. I got flames here, and I've got flames on shirts, and skulls and flames have always sort of been my thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have anything like that? That's the Curt thing?
Not really. No. I mean, I've always liked wearing like wristbands. I don't know. That's not really like that cool. Like
slap bands, like those things.
No, I wish. Those were cool for a while. Those are like QR codes for a little bit.
You could bring that back. You could bring back slap bracelet,
slap QR codes.
Right, and you sell them at your show. Yeah. You could bring it back.
Great idea.
Make it your own.
Yeah. I'm gonna slap my Curt after the show.
My wife for a while was trying to bring back the little stretchy neck bands that were popular in the 90s. Those like they were like you could pull them and they stretched out, but yeah, because she goes, I always liked those, and she found some in a store, and she goes, I'm going to try to, and then she kind of stopped wearing them. I don't think they caught on again, but they might have. Everything in the 90s is coming back. Everything.
Mullets are back. I see a lot of mullets.
Like real mullets.
Like real, yeah, absolutely.
Now, are they doing it ironically, or are they just like screwing up their head?
I have no idea. No, one of the best mullets I've ever seen was a radio guy from Tucson. I don't know if you know this guy, but he came to one of my shows one time and sat right in the front. And I was like, dude, I gotta say some shit.
Was this recently?
No, this was actually quite a while ago, probably.
Oh, yeah. I have a picture of me in the early 90s with just a badass mullet. I mean,
and you had dark hair, right?
Yeah, I had dark hair and the pompadour and like shoulder length mullet, But I still get that. People always now go, "Oh, nice mullet," and I go, "It's long hair." Do you not know the difference between what an actual mullet is and long hair?
I worked with a comedian that had a skullet.
Really? Like bald with the
yeah, he looked like Ben Franklin.
And you're not gonna say his name?
I'll say Phil Hogan's name, yeah.
Oh, who was it?
Phil Hogan? Do you know him?
Oh yeah. I didn't know he's gone completely skullet, but
Oh yeah. And this was probably 10 years ago.
So he may not have much of a skullet left.
Yeah.
A Surrey with some fringe on top.
But he was proud of that, man. Yeah. He was holding on to what he had left.
Yeah, my brother was like that. I still have my hair, not as thick as yours, man. I didn't realize because you're like a bathroom throw rug.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because like all my uncles on my mom's side, like they're all bald, and like my cousins are balding. I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't get that.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing. My brother went bald at 25, and he was thinning. And he did the, hey, if you shave your head, it'll come back thicker. And it doesn't, by the way. And he's always been after, man, if I had hair, I wouldn't screw it up like you. Why do you change colors, you change cuts, you dye it, man, you're just going to make it fall out. Well, apparently I haven't. But my brother went through that Ben Franklin thing for a while because, you just, guess you have to grow what you got,
Yeah. When I was in high school, I used to do funny haircuts all the time. And then this other kid in my class started doing it. And then So one time he came to school and he had the top of his head shaved and just had hair on the side. It was pretty funny.
Like just the very top, like
Yeah.
like a fryer, like how they used to cut.
Yeah.
I'm Friar Tuck.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Well, at one point I thought about doing the mullet again because I saw, I try to keep up. I know a lot of comics don't, but I try to go, okay, what's in style, what's in fashion, what can you make fun of, what can you accept, and what do you need to go? This shit needs to go away. But I thought about doing it again, but I thought, I've had my hair long for such a long time now that people have just sort of accepted that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you look like you're in a southern rock band or something.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Matter of fact, I was pushing an idea for a sitcom. I was talking to Roseanne Barr about this a while back. Name drop, by the way. Did you hear that thud? But I mentioned to her that I thought a good idea for a sitcom would be like me being a southern rock guy that, these southern rock bands that always had like one hit, like the Outlaws or somebody, just they had one hit and Quentin Tarantino uses that song again in a movie and they become famous again. And they get a chance to tour one more time. But by this time, he's been a roofer. He's worked at a grocery store. It's kind of a southern rocker that has a home life, but yet he's trying to be a rock star again.
Oh yeah. Kind of like the movie The Wrestler, but for a rocker.
Right, kind of, kind of recapture the glory days.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and she thought the same thing. I was like, that's not a bad idea, and but we never kicked it around or made it happen, But I still think that would be a good idea for a show. But then again, you and I both know Hollywood is not looking for anything original. Yeah, I mean that show is not on the air, has never been on the air, and there are people go, why it's never been on? There's a reason it's never been. No, the reason is there's no originality in Hollywood.
I know.
It either has to be a cop show, a doctor show, a lawyer show. It has to be a Friends ripoff. It has to be, it's the same thing over and over. And they can't figure out why TV sucks these days.
Yeah, it's gross.
It really is. I catch myself watching more streaming now than I ever did before.
Me too.
All of these channels like Pluto TV or Me TV or any of those, like, my God, MacGyver's on. I love this show.
Yeah, I remember watching some old shows with you and we're in Little Rock.
Yeah, I think we were watching some like Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
And those old shows like that were little mini movies. They were self-contained, well-written mini movies. They weren't just like bad jokes that the sound, they had to have a laugh track or something behind or.
Yeah, it's funny to watch sitcoms without a laugh track, like popular sitcoms now. Like if you could find it, like watch it without the laugh track, and it's like, wow, this is really bad.
Well, it's like the laugh track is like those comics that don't actually have a punchline, but they have a motion that lets you know that's the end of the joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they pop the mic stand, like, and that's what I said. Like, all right, that's supposed to be the end of the bit, I guess.
Yeah. I saw a comic one time. He did a guest spot in Little Rock. He was the worst comedian I've ever seen in my life. He didn't have anything like that. He didn't have punchlines. He didn't have pauses where, like I had no idea what the end of the joke was.
So he was like a giant unfunny run-on sentence.
Yeah, it was like he would start talking about something, and then he's talking about something else, and I'm like, what? Where was the punchline? Or is the punchline coming? Is something going on? And I was working with the Untamed Shrews at the time. I don't know if you know them, but
I know of them.
So at the condo later that night, we found his website. He's got a 15-minute clip on there. So we're watching it and trying to dissect it and figure it out. And I was like, maybe he's just like really brilliant. We're not getting it. So we start sending the video to other comedians.
Please tell me what this is.
And they're just like, what the fuck is this?
And next thing you know, he has a sitcom.
No, he disappeared. But
but you've seen those guys.
yeah.
But listen, this is my theory on comedy. I was talking about this to somebody the other day. There's a lot of mediocrity, and even below mediocrity that's getting booked these days.
Oh yeah.
Like below, and they all pat each other on the back, and they all kind of book each other at their, hey, I got a club, or I got a one nighter, and you see that coming up. And I think that's sort of what the industry's been. If we can keep the level right here, it doesn't have to make us look bad. Because if some comic or one of us is better, there it goes, wow, I guess that guy did suck for 20 years. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, for sure.
Like the mediocrity is rewarded compared to, wow, you guys knocked it out of the park last night. You know?
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot lately. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It's super weird. I don't know. Hopefully it changes soon.
Well, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. I finally got on a cruise ship after all these months, being unemployed, as most of us in this business have been. Like, is anything ever going to open again? Anything? And I got an email from these people that said, we saw you on the Liberty of the Sea the other night. It was one of the funniest shows we've ever seen. I've never seen my husband laugh so hard in his life. Thank you. And my wife goes, that must make you feel good. I go, no, it makes me feel like crap, because I know what I can do. I know how, and yet I'm still like slapped down in the industry, like, does that make sense? It's like, I should feel like, yes, I did my job. And again, I go like, see, again, this is why I'm pissed off. I'm in an industry that what I have no control over. You and I have no control over our jobs. It has to be somebody that reaches out and wants to give us work or put us in something. It's not like, wow, you were really funny.
Yeah, I've worked with you, I don't know how many times now, but I've never seen you have a bad show, ever. And I'm surprised your calendar is not full all the time. But that's how this business is.
Yeah. And it's getting worse. And that's why I was going to go with this earlier, is I think it's getting worse because now it's definitely not about being a comic. Yeah. It's definitely, are you a YouTube star? Are you a TikTok star? How many views have you had on?
Exactly.
Are you seeing that too? Like a lot of clubs?
Yeah. I worked with a guy in Texas who was big on Instagram, and I was sitting in the green room with him before the show, and I was like, "How long have you actually been doing like stand up?" And he's like, 11 months, and I go, "Fuck you," because people are paying $30 to see him, and he's got no act at all. You know? Like, so many people came up to me afterwards and were like, "Holy shit, we're so glad you were on the show," because that was terrible.
Well, basically, they're meet and greets for those guys. They're they're like glorified meet and greets.
And they're making like 10 times more than what I'm making.
Right. It wasn't that Southern Mama guy, was it?
No.
Have you seen that person on?
I know
on
who
YouTube?
he is. Yeah, I've never met him. I've never seen him or anything though.
I've never seen him live, but I've seen a few of the videos. But I saw a thing that got suggested on YouTube. You know how you get suggestions like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I clicked on it, and it was a thing about. So it was a Southern Living, was that magazine, Southern Living, but they had done a whole article about how he made so much money in the entertainment business. He had bought a plantation home down in the South and was remodeling an 1800. I'm like, what? I'm busting my ass out here for 30 years. And I'm like, I hope I can make the mortgage next month.
Yeah. That's nuts, man.
What are we going to do?
We got to make stupid videos. I don't know what it is, man. It's
and the videos make no sense either, because I've been doing videos for a while. And you know, I've got all this different characters that I do. Some characters do great other than others. and you can never predict. Like, why did this one get 100,000 and this one got 200 views? So, and then you look at somebody else on TikTok and you go, this guy has 1 million followers, gets 36,000 views, and I haven't laughed at one of the videos. So I can't predict how this works.
Yeah.
Do algorithms like knock you down if you know, oh, he's making fun of Joe Biden, so take him out of rotation. You know what I mean? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's most of the people that have 1 million followers on TikTok are either good-looking ladies or people who make shitty videos.
That's yeah. Or they're physically deformed.
Oh yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's the truth. You'll look and there's like, you got 2 million views, and basically you're a guy that lays in bed with a tube lip syncing.
Oh yeah. I just saw a video earlier of a lady. She is a little person, and I was like, I bet she's got 1 million viewers. And I clicked on her thing. It was 1.1 million.
Thanks. Oh, you know, we just got canceled right then for making.
I just said little person.
I know, but we're making. we didn't value that. We didn't lift it up. We didn't make it extra special.
Yeah. Good for her for showing her little boobs.
Right. Doing a little midriff like that.
You saw the same thing.
I think I did. And I think she was doing, special like Applebee's. I'm tiny like an appetizer.
You did see it, yeah. Same person. Man. I don't understand TikTok at all. I don't know. I post a couple videos here and there, and the most it ever gets is like in the 600s. And I don't know.
I've had some. I got one that hit almost. I think it was almost 1 million, and it was one I did about Kamala Harris with Montel Williams. I found an old clip of them when they were dating, and I did like a reaction video. You know how you kind of you know, and it was more of it got a lot of views and shares, but it was basically because it was people slamming me for like, well, who are you to make fun of? Both of them are more famous than you are.
Yeah. I was talking to Tim Gaither the other day. So one of his comedy videos just started getting a bunch of views, like just randomly from a year ago. And he said he was deleting the bad comments. And I was like, no, you got to keep the bad comments on there, because
they're the ones that keep it alive.
The algorithm. Yeah. I was like, just keep talking shit to those people.
Yeah.
Like you'll get more views.
It's true though. And I learned that from a guy that does TikTok. He told me, because I was doing that, and he goes, no, just interact, because the more interaction a video gets, the algorithm picks up on there's a lot of people chatting about this one.
Yeah.
So I just have to go, no, you're the idiot. No, you are.
Yeah.
No, you are.
Yeah, people can be brutal. Holy shit.
Well, and that's from the side that's supposed to be so inclusive and so loving. And so isn't it amazing that how vicious that side is?
Oh, yeah. It's gotten so bad over the years.
I was talking to another comic just this morning. I don't know if you know Derek Richards out of Las Vegas.
Oh, I know the name, yeah.
He just got pulled off I think it was like a USO tour, one of those where they go to the military bases.
Oh yeah.
He just got pulled off of it because, get this, Deborah Messing, the actress Deborah Messing, and Natina Navratilova, both of them attacked it because he had posted videos about not liking Trump. I mean, not Biden.
Oh
Yeah. So he had made Biden jokes. It wasn't even like slamming. He just made jokes. And they were like, how can you have somebody that doesn't appreciate the president on this tour going to representing our military? And so he got pulled off. And I said, what? You can't have both sides of the common political world anymore. You can't it has to be our side or nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got a comic on there bashing Trump, and they're fine with that, though.
Yeah.
Even though he was president. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get so sick of shit like that, man.
Me too. Well, that's because people always ask me, they know that I'm a conservative leaning comic, but you've seen my act. I don't do a lot of political.
Nothing about politics that I've seen.
No,
not at all.
I think funny should be funny, and you can be funny, and you can still throw things in to make people go, "Oh, I get it." Like I've been doing a joke now about going to the mall again. And I go, well, nobody goes to the mall anymore. Everybody's shopping online. I go, the mall now, it's basically deader than Joe Biden's dick. And it gets a big laugh. And it's not like I've slammed the president or I've made a special point of like, isn't he an asshole? Anybody voted for him, you just you can throw things out and keep going, But if you work with somebody that is total bashing, what wasn't Trump an idiot and his people that voted for, they'll walk an audience. I've seen them walk people. And you're like, why would you want to do that? You can still make your point without pissing off half your crowd.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Tim does joke about Biden. That's just kind of a quick line that he does. And, if people get mad, he's like, I can make fun of Trump too, But it's nothing bad at all. But still, people, like we had a lady in Reno, like he just does a quick line about Biden, and then at the end of the show, when we're selling our merchandise, she's like, you're really funny up until you made that remark about Biden. And she's like, that's what divides us. And I was like, really? Jokes divide us?
Yeah. It wasn't the fact you came over to start shit that divides us. It wasn't that you just couldn't laugh and move on.
Yeah.
I've had that stuff with my, I had a woman stand up and yell at me one time that I do a joke about kids and how they're so allergic to everything now. Allergic. I can't have this and I can't eat that and I can't, and I it's a whole bit, so I won't do it here. But the point being that the lady goes, "You're the reason kids are in hospitals." I go, "What?" Well, she just yelled at that. "You're the reason kids are in hospitals." What? Making fun of children like this. You're probably either one of you probably beat your kids, didn't you? No, I go, no, but I did spank them. There's a big difference. And I went through the difference between spanking and she just got more and more like vocal and loud with each time that I like corrected her. You know what I mean? It wasn't, because beating is not spanking. Spanking is not beating. And I always say people can't figure this out anymore because words are specific. Words mean certain things. And the left likes to confuse all that. You know what I mean? Because spanking is spanking. Beating is some hitting in the head with a board. You know, abuse is not popping your kid on the butt to stop spinning the cat around by the tail. Abuse is when you put them in a closet and you feed them cat shit to eat for a week.
Yeah, so and then they get a Netflix special about them 20 years later.
Right. So, and it's the same thing. I go, that's why people can't have discussions anymore because, the joke being like my wife and I'll get in an argument and I go, no, are you mad or are you perturbed at what I was doing? Because both of those are different. Are you annoyed with me or are you angry at me? Because let's discuss do you see what I'm saying? Words are
Sure.
specific.
Definitely.
And I don't think a lot of people have the vocabularies that they used to have. So they don't know that there's a lot of different words that mean a lot of different things. Because if you can't get it in 120 characters, I don't need it in my life.
That's funny.
Do you read? Well, Twitter. I'll read Twitter. Like, what happened to books?
I know. I read the YouTube comments.
Yeah. I spend hours on those. I do that sometimes, though. Do you ever go down a rabbit hole of just reading?
All the time.
Like you'll see somebody's reply and it'll have 800 comments to their reply. And you're like, holy crap, I got to see where this went.
Oh, yeah. And if it's got like a person's name, I'll try to find out information about them. Like, what's going on with this dude?
Yeah.
I'll find him on Facebook, and it's like, man, his family looks really normal. What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, what happened with him? Oh, I got into it today with somebody on the Nextdoor app. Do you know?
Okay.
You know
yeah, I don't have it, but I know about it. Yeah.
Where like it's all about your neighbor. Like, hey, there's a cat lost. It looks like this. Please call me. It's that kind of, you know. And today somebody went, I was at the grocery store today, the King Soopers over on such and such. They were out of eggs and plastic sacks. What's going on? That was and I wrote, Joe Biden's America. That's what's going on. And boy, it just turned into, I guess it's all his fault. Everything is his fault. I go, it just turned, this wasn't happening 8 months ago. My gas wasn't $1.50 higher 8 months. There wasn't ships parked off the coast that can't deliver their goods 8 months ago. Mm-hmm. But yet I'm the bad guy for going, what do you mean you don't know what's going on? And I love when people tell me to, hey, prove it, or they'll write, prove it. Well, how am I supposed to prove this to an idiot? You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if I give you an actual fact, you're going to come back. I can't
go back in time and take a picture of the gas prices. Like, you were there,
Right. Didn't you notice you paid $1.50 more today? Didn't you just post you didn't know where the eggs were? What happened? I hate to say it, but as much as I love people, I hate people.
Oh yeah.
Because I do like people. I love making them laugh. I enjoy meeting nice people and hanging out. But the stupidity has just been driving me crazy. And my wife's like, "You just got to let it go," But
it's hard, though.
Yeah, but I've come to this conclusion. We let it go for so long. That's why we are where we are now.
Yeah.
We've always just been like, I don't care. I don't want to get involved. It's not my deal. Live and let live. That's always been. And now we're like, well, we should have spoke up about 20 years ago. And what's the saying? Evil triumphs when good people do nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are now. If we don't do something, we're right at that weird, bad tipping point for this country.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction on how to fix it?
On how to fix it? Oh my God, I don't know. I have no idea. I just hope it gets fixed soon.
You don't ever take a hit off a pipe and think, here's what we need to do.
No, usually when I get stoned, I just watch cartoons and make fun of shit. You know what I mean? You've seen me high.
I know.
There's no critical thinking going on after that.
Well, if you watch TV at all, you realize, like Naked and Afraid, that show Naked and you've seen that, right? Where they put them out in the woods naked, and they have to survive for like a week or whatever it is.
Oh wow!
You've never seen this show?
No.
Oh, you got to check it out. I just stumbled on it one day in a hotel. When you're in the hotel room and you're like, no. What is this? And you realize somebody had to be high to even go, what we ought to do? We'll get people naked in the woods. No, listen to me. We'll just put them out in the woods naked. And then they have to live off bugs and water. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That sounds awesome.
It does. But can you imagine trying to pitch that to a TV exec 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
When the Brady Bunch was on the air and the Partridge Family, and somebody walks in and goes, I got a show idea. Yeah. Naked people in the woods.
Yeah.
And now it's like whatever you could come up with, they're like, how can we top the ignorance? How can we top the stupidity? How can we top and I think a lot of that started back with Jerry Springer. I call it Springerizing because they've done it. They had to top it. It used to be just this, and now it's, how can we, did you date your brother's wife's sister? Call us.
Yeah.
Were you married to your uncle's minister? Call us. What's the next? How can we?
Well, yeah, because they knew exactly who's watching TV at the time, and they're like, "Let's fucking pander to these dipshits."
Yeah, yeah, and it reminded me of the old days when the internet first started, when you had Alta Vista and those kind of browsers.
Yeah.
We used to play Stump the search engine, because it wasn't Google. It was just a search engine.
Okay. And
you would just type in stuff just to see if you could find it. Like 2 naked nuns in a plastic kiddie pool. Boom, there is one. Who thought that there is one? But now if you type that same thing, you'd be like, 35 pages.
Yeah, which one do I pick?
But the old days, you would just try to go think of something you couldn't find on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's around anymore. I don't think you could play Stump the search engine today.
Yeah. No shit.
What if you had right now? If you thought of something, what would you type in to try to stump the search engine?
Man. I don't even know.
How about this one? Kids not holding a cell phone. Good luck finding it.
2021 teenager reading a book.
What? Oh, I got one. Family having dinner together. Oh, look at this. 1956. It was the last time 1956. I've gone down the rabbit hole of the 1970s recently.
Yeah.
Because of TV, watching those old TV shows, and you think, wow, the music wasn't that bad, and the fashion. It's sort of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did you see that movie?
Oh yeah, love that movie.
Where the whole thing, you thought, what a great time period, and the fashion and the whole. So recently I started going down like put it in my Pinterest, 1970s decor, 1970s fashion. And it's just fun to look at all that stuff.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I really like that movie. I love how it was shot and everything, and it looked great.
I liked the movie except for the ending. I loved it all the way up until why did you have to give us this fake ending? I know it was based on such and such, but it was doing along so well to go, that is not anywhere near kind of what should have happened.
Yeah. I know. I talked to a movie producer one time, and he was telling me, because me and my friend wrote a script, and he was telling me the movies that get made all the time are, like you said, remakes, shit like that. But he said stuff that had true things that happened. So a lot of that movie, was based on stuff that happened, but then they changed the end, of course. And so even though Quentin Tarantino will make a movie, it's got shit that actually happened, but he throws his take on it. And he makes great movies and everything, but it's still I wish I wasn't all like that. Why can't someone just make an original movie and it doesn't have anything to do with anything that everything else,
Did you ever see a movie called Safety Not Guaranteed?
I think so. That sounds familiar.
It was like a guy that you didn't know if he really had invented a time travel machine or not.
Yeah.
And he had run an ad about trying to find somebody to go with him, and it said at the end, "Your safety not guaranteed."
Yeah.
And it was a really cool movie. One guy had a fake ear that fell off. And you're like, who thought to put a fake ear on a character? And halfway through the movie, but I had already kind of caught on that guy's ear looks weird earlier in the movie. Is it a different color? It was like this weird. So you watched it, totally original. Hollywood doesn't make those. It was an indie movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I think independent movies are much better than Hollywood movies, because an indie, you don't know the actors. You're not okay, you can put Sylvester Stallone in the most perilous position in the world, and he's coming out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're watching an indie movie and the guy who's supposed to be the star gets shot between the eyes in the first 5 minutes, you're like, where's this thing going? And that's what I like about indies. They're never predictable.
Yeah, because like when I was learning about screenwriting, there's a formula to it. You got to have this by this and this and this, and it's like, fuck, why do you have to do that? It's like, why not just do your own thing and see what happens?
Yeah, why does it have to be a formula?
Yeah, it's like, why it's so predictable that way.
Well, I went to see the new press screening of the new James Bond movie, and it opens like every James Bond movie with a car chase, shootout. James Bond about to be dead, gets away, goes to the circle with the gun, and you go, that's the typical. You have to start with the action, some kind of violent action to get people go, whoa. It's kind of like, I remember, was it Die Hard? No, it wasn't Die Hard. It was the one with Mel Gibson. What was the
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon. Remember the girl that started off with her on the balcony and she falls off and hits the car. And the very start of the movie, you're like, whoa, that's the way to start a movie. But I guess you have to grab somebody. But do you? I mean, can it just start off with like somebody gets up in the morning, puts on their clothes, makes a cup of coffee, and this is how your day starts. And it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah. Like that movie Falling Down.
Yeah. Which was a great movie.
Love that movie.
At the time, it didn't get super reviews. But I loved that movie. I thought that was the perfect for the time. The normal guy just went, I'm losing it. I'm not paying this much for a Coke. What? Did
I ever tell you about? So a few years ago, I went to a gas station, and there's an old man in front of me, and he sets the candy bar down, and the lady's like, $1.50. He's like, what? She's like, $1.50. And he goes, fuck that.
That must have been my dad. Because my dad was always like, I'm not paying that. I would never do that. It was never like, I'm not going to do that. I'll never go to a movie again if popcorn is $3. Boy, I'd drive to a theater that sold it for $3 now.
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
But if you look at stuff, even in the 70s, like I said, I was going down that hole, and you look at restaurants from the 1970s, and it's like steak dinner with fries, side salad, $1.95.
Yeah.
And that's the 70s. So why can't people figure out? So the government's been screwing us that in that many years, you watch the Game Show Network and from the 1970s, and they'll say it's a brand new Ford Maverick and it's flashing $2,500 on it. And you're like, okay, how do we go from that to a $40,000 car?
Yeah.
Who is screwing us this bad? So sometimes I go, maybe we should crash. Maybe we should just crash this country and start over. Let's go back to nickel bread. That's where, if that's what it costs, I don't need to make this much money because I don't need that much to live anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I know that's not right thinking, crash the country. But doesn't it feel like that's sort of what they're trying to do?
It does seem like that, yeah.
What'd you pay for your very first apartment when you got out on your own? What was your rent?
Let's see. I lived with some buddies of mine in a house, and I was only paying like $300. And then I went to an apartment when I was 21, and it was like $500 something for a 2-bedroom.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is that now? Probably $1,800.
Oh yeah, yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't even find a 1-bedroom for that anymore.
It's crazy. And I think that's what happened with this whole COVID shakeup. And I think you've probably seen it too, where people just went, I'm leaving. I'm going back to where I can get a house for $40,000. I'm not going to pay $800 here anymore. I'm going to go to Tennessee and get a ranch. I think people realize they don't have to live a certain way anymore.
Mm-hmm. I never understood people living in LA, spending all that money for such a shitty little place. Or
It's
New
a
York
million.
City.
It's $1 million for a 1-bedroom bungalow in the valley, and there's a chance you could be shot after 8.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you when I lived in LA, I lived in Long Beach, right down by the Queen Mary in one of the high rises, and I started when I moved to LA. I started looking because I thought if you're going to live in California, live on the beach, right? I mean, that's what you go out there live. So I started looking. Santa Monica, couldn't afford it. Let's go down the coast. Santa Monica, can't afford it. Can't afford the Hermosa Beach, can't afford it. Let's Mission Beach. That ain't happening. Just kept going. And finally got down to Long Beach. And I'm like, this is $875 for a tiny 1-bedroom. All right, this is where I'm going to be. But there was off-street parking. So sometimes I have to park like 9-10 blocks away from my own building. And it's 2:00 in the morning. One night I'm walking back, I get hit in the chest with a beer can. Like people just drove by with a car, and you're the that's you don't even know what they've shouted at you, but boom, beer can right in the chest. And I thought, why do I live here? Why am I here?
Why were you there?
Well, it's LA. I was trying to do I signed with APA. I had the big agency, like any of us, we go out there hoping we're going to get the big break.
Yeah. That never appealed to me at all.
Of trying to do that whole.
Yeah. I just love doing stand up, and, I never wanted to be famous or anything. I just wanted to be famous enough where people come see me at a club or something, but.
Yeah, people used to ask me why I did it. Because I want to be famous enough to get my dry cleaning done for free.
Yeah.
Well, I want people to go, he comes to my store,
Yeah.
But you really do hope for more. You hope that you're going to be able to get that movie, and you will get my manager asked me one time what my goals were, and I go, probably make $1 million and never be seen again. And he goes, no, really? I go, no, I'm serious. I would love to make a movie or two or have a sitcom, make my money, and then I'll go buy a farm somewhere, and I won't keep hitting this thing. Because people like that you're like, you had a sitcom. Now you're doing a bowling alley. Why are you still busting your just enjoy the fruits of your labor and go sit down.
Yeah.
Who have you seen? Who have you seen like that? Who have you seen like that? Some of the ones that you go like, weren't you semi-famous for a while?
Let me think. I remember John Campanera. He had his own sitcom.
That's true.
He was pretty well known, I think. And I don't know if he's doing much anymore.
I would do it for fun now and then, I think, but I wouldn't want to be busting my ass. Like I'm still trying to get, I want a Yoder gig. I want to give me a CW Kindle across Kansas,
Oh yeah. If I had a sitcom, I wouldn't be doing stuff like that for sure.
Well, that's where
all the shit gigs for sure.
Well, that seems to be, remember a while back, that's where the clubs went for a while. Like all the clubs started getting all the people that used to be famous, like all the Wayans brothers were doing all the clubs and all the so those of us with a few TV credits got bumped down because what used to be the celebrities were now back in the clubs. So we got knocked down and now the celebrities are being knocked down by, I've got 4 million on TikTok.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing? What are we doing? Well, this is where I think things are going. I think what we're doing right now is entertainment. This is our TV show. We don't need ABC. We don't need CMT to go, it's Tuesday night and you'll have your own talk show. No, you've got it right now. Like I always tell people, this is a TV studio. This shoots in 4K. Anytime I want to do something, I can go live.
Yeah. That's true. I did want to ask you though, because Norm Macdonald passed away recently. Did you know him at all? Did you ever meet him?
Yes, I met him when I used to work at the Improv when I was in the LA thing. Didn't know him well. That's what I posted him. I think I didn't know him well enough that I go, here's a picture of me with Norm.
Yeah.
Like everybody did.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, everybody met him.
Yeah, I was like, no, I met him, and I remember one of the nicest things he ever said to me. I was guest hosting. When we go do clubs and they make us go do morning shows, like you're on with Bob and Sissy on K99 tomorrow, like, okay, well, I was the guest, but they had Norm was coming to a theater show later, and they asked me to stay. And during his interview, they go, we have Steve McGrew in with us. Do you know Steve? And Norm was like, yes, very, very funny guy. I remember him from LA. He said, a nice thing about me when he didn't have to.
That's cool.
And that always stayed with me. Yeah,
I just listened to last night. Bob Saget posted like a little, I guess it was like a podcast about him a couple of days ago, and I listened to it last night. It's hard not to tear up a little bit, like he just seemed like a great dude. So that's cool that you got to meet him.
I always thought he was very funny.
Yeah.
But again, and I don't want this to come off sounding bad, but everybody's like the greatest of all time. He was the best. And I agree. But how come he wasn't bigger? How come he wasn't more famous? Again, it goes back to what you and I were talking about. They didn't promote him like they should have for whatever reason. Yes, he was great. Yes, he got some shows, but shouldn't Norm have been way up there with every, Kevin Hart even,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you wonder about it. I wonder if it's because, you never knew what was going to happen with him, Like maybe we shouldn't have him on because we told him not to say it, and we know he's going to. Because I was reading the thing about him. He was performing at the University of Iowa in like 1997. So they hired him and Daryl Hammond and Jim Brewer for this big fundraiser. And there's going to be, a couple thousand people there. There's going to be kids in the audience. So they hired him to do like a squeaky clean show. And, Daryl and Jim both go out there and do their squeaky clean sets. And Norm just goes out there and just does the dirtiest shit he can think of. And walks like half the audience in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that same sort of thing, years ago, there was an LA station, KLOS, and they did a thing, I can't remember, it was something rock stock, or, and I was on the show. It was me, Richard Lewis, Cheap Trick, a bunch of Judas Priest. It was like this long day, and we were all told, hey, it's an all ages show, so keep everything clean, just comics between music acts. And I went out, did well. I killed in staying clean. Carlos Mencia was the last one on the show and just did what you just said about Norm. He was not clean in any way, shape, or form, not politically correct in any shape, way, or form. And the review the next day talked about why he was so good, why he was a comic genius, why he was he just destroyed the audience. And I was like, I could have done that if I hadn't followed the rules. And that, again, you go, I don't understand how I get screwed over by the industry. How come they didn't call him out for not, like, why didn't they go, Carlos Mencia was filthy. He walked half the,
Yeah. I did, another thing I wanted to ask you was about Star Search. You were on Star Search, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I remember you posted a video. So my mom actually went to high school with the guy who started Star Search.
Really?
Yeah. This guy named Steve Stark. He's like the president of like MGM TV now or something like that. But what was your experience like on Star Search? I used to love that show. Okay, back up. I was asked to do it 2 seasons before I did it.
Like, you want to do it? No, I'm already making a living as a comic. I don't want to go on and lose and look bad on TV. I don't want to go on and lose to a ventriloquist and where it looks like, oh, my stand-up wasn't good to even beat a dummy, So I kept saying no a couple of times. And then they came to me and they were like, look, here's who's on the show. We got, these comics. And I'm like, well, you got a good lineup. If I lose to one of these guys, I'm going to be okay with that. And so I was really looking forward to it. And I enjoyed the show. It was fun trying to put together those 2.5 minute, 2 minute and 20 second or whatever we had on those. Oh, wow. Because you really have to come out and go, hey, are you watching TV? You can't do a, hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Great to see you.
Yeah.
You got to go straight into your.
Give it up for Ed McMahon.
Yeah. Like, you just wasted a laugh, and so it was fun to do that. And I beat Louis C.K. on Star Search.
Okay.
And again, and again, you go, wait a minute, I beat Louis C.K. Why am I in my basement doing the Curt Fletcher podcast? No, that's
Louis on next week, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, what happened? I beat the guy, And that's not to say that Louis is not funny. He just he was not particularly, if you watch our sets, you go, oh yeah, no wonder you won. I mean, he was like talking gibberish kind of almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. It was just fun. Ed, I remember them telling me, don't make fun of Ed. That was one of the things that, and Ed had obviously a little drink under the podium. He used to sit at the podium, and between takes, it was like, hey, welcome back to Star Search. And the challenger gets 3.25 stars. Yeah. But I won several, went to the semifinals, and I lost. I won't say her name because she's still around the industry, but we had the semifinals had more than typical judges. Typically, they just had the 3 judges or whatever, 4, I can't remember. But on the semifinals, they had more than usual judges, and I got beat by a female comic that definitely was not as good. And it's not just me saying that. People that watch the show are like, God, you got robbed.
Yeah.
And what it was all the female judges. There was more female judges than there was male judges. And she had done this whole thing about, women power, go women. And that's definitely how I lost. And that put me in the thing. I've never been big on any of the competitions. Any of these guys, hey, I'm in the comedy comp. There's a festival and I'm doing this festival. None of that means anything.
Yeah.
Because it's all either already pre-rigged, decided on. The same thing happened to me with the Johnny Walker competition. There used to be a thing called the Johnny Walker comedy competition. I won it in Denver. I went to Chicago. I won the funniest person in Chicago, won that round, went to LA for the finals. And the same thing happened again. I went up, and the rules was to do 12 minutes of clean stand-up. That was the rules. Well, I went up, did great. I mean, it was great. And John Hinton was the guy that came on. I don't know if you know John. He was on Living Single and all the.
Okay.
He was not clean. He was not clean. And the other comics in the back of the room started high-fiving me like, you got this. He broke the, you broke the rules. When they announced the winner, B. Arthur was one of the judges from Golden Girls. B stood up. She goes, no. She actually said no. But he won the competition. He was on the Tonight Show. Like a few weeks later, he was in the sitcom Living. It was like it was predetermined who was supposed to win. And Lawrence Christensen, who was the writer for the LA Times at that time, said that I was the funniest of the competition, and time would tell who the funniest comic was. Well, time has gone by and it still hasn't happened. Time is. Yes, the comedy critic from the LA Times thought I was funnier, but that doesn't help me at all.
Yeah. I went to audition for Last Comic Standing in Tempe, Arizona one time, and they had So they picked like 26 people for the callback show. And out of that 26, they're going to take 10. They gave 10 the envelope or whatever it was. And so I knew this guy that was in the contest, this guy named Chris Clobber. I don't know if you know him, from San Diego. He's been in the game for years. And he told me, he goes, he's like, watch, I can have the best set tonight and I still won't get in the top 10. And I was like, why? He's like, look at me. He's like, they don't want to put me on TV. And I was like, holy shit, okay. So, I was like 25 at the time, and I never thought of anything like that. And sure enough, he goes up and just fucking destroys, doesn't get in the top 10. And there are people like sitting around me that voted for him as the audience favorite and stuff. And they're like,
you froze. What you froze? What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. So he had the best set of the night by far. Yeah. And all the people sitting around me voted for him as the audience favorite, and he still didn't get in the top 10. And I was talking to some of the people around me that because I was like, I said something to him. I was like, hey, did you vote for Chris Clobber? And they're like, yeah. And then I was like, okay. I was like, I'm friends with him, and he told me what was going to happen before it happened. And they're like, oh, it's such bullshit. Like,
Well, why would he say, well, look at me, I'm not gonna, since I don't know the guy, is there something, that
he was like, late 40s, overweight, not great looking,
Yeah. What they're looking for now.
Yeah. But now he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it just sucks. And I don't know. The funny thing is like, when Dat Fan won season 1, Dat was friends with Chris, and Dat didn't have an act. He had like 15 minutes. And he called Chris, and he's like, will you help me write an act? So Chris, pretty much won season 1 just because his jokes did.
You want to buy my act?
Yeah. Yeah, so ever since then, I was like, man, fucking contests.
Yeah, they're not right. Nashville Star was another show was on for a while. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
When I was a radio DJ here in Denver, they wanted me to help with the auditions for that show, with the Denver auditions. And I was one of the judges, and I was picking, like you said, the same people. Like, oh, this chick, God, she's got a great voice. Oh, this guy's incredible. This guy's got a country, obviously a star. They didn't pick anybody that I was picking because they were good, and they weren't looking for good. They were looking to cast. This guy played a washboard on his chest. You know what I mean? They needed that, the pants on the ground, that guy from whatever show that was. So they weren't looking for talent. They were looking to cast a show.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed about what was going on.
Yeah, that's one thing I hate about all this shit. Like American Idol, like they had that William Hung guy on there.
Yeah,
made him famous just for
she bang.
Yeah, my brother prank called him one time. It was so funny. So my brother used to work for AT&T, so he looked up a bunch of celebrity phone numbers. And he found William Hung's phone number, so he called him, and it was pretty late at night. My brother's like, "Hey, this is Tom from the record company, and I got some buddies over here. We're doing some drinking. We just want to hear you sing, man." And he got all pissed off. He's like, "It's 2:30 in the morning." That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know. The competitions that like this year, it is not to your internet. It came up something about the internet being unstable. What? But my internet
did freeze. I think you froze a little bit. I don't know if it was because of me.
Anyway, not to slam in any way, shape, or form, but I was surprised that Josh Blue was on America's Got Talent after being on, what was the other one?
Last Comic Standing.
Last Comic Standing. I was surprised. Like, isn't the point of the show to find talent? Didn't you already, you want a show, and good for. I'm not saying good for him. I would love a second chance on some of the. If you brought back Star Search, I'd be like, can I do this again? Because you do need that kind of exposure
for sure.
But I did read, man, there was a lot of comments under his stuff like, you shouldn't be here. You already had your chance. My friend didn't make the show because of you. And but again, how can you decide who should be on these shows or not? If are you just looking for a show? You want talent? You want real talent? What is the criteria for the show?
Yeah, I saw Michael Winslow was on there too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he didn't make it as far as Josh, but yeah.
That season, now what? Again, Michael Winslow has been a brilliant comic for years. His vocal stuff is like nobody does what he does.
Yeah.
And so what made them like, nope, you're out. Nope, you move along. Nope, you need.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. Like, yeah, and Josh, he's already an established headliner and does well, and I guess I don't know the rules of the show.
Me neither. And like I said, good for him. I'm not
for sure, yeah.
Not for him. Yes, but I just don't understand how all this works.
Yeah.
And and living in Denver where I am, and you're in Albuquerque again, right? Or yeah. We're not in Hollywood. We don't know what's going on. We don't see the casting breakdowns. We don't know that, hey, Tuesday be over at such and such to see if you can get on this show. Mm-hmm. So we're out of the loop. Like I didn't know. Like I just read Josh is going to be on. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How did this happen? I would have loved to. Maybe I should have auditioned. Or
Yeah.
But you have to have either the industry or the agent or the right manager or the whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And again, I guess you and I just be happy that we're working, we're making money, we can afford our car, and we can eat.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool, man. We already hit an hour. I try to keep it at 45 minutes, but
we did an hour?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry. It was so much fun just chatting with you.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. I did one with Don Morgan last week, and he's a good buddy of mine. So we did like an hour and a half.
Did you chop it into two 45-minute sections?
I was going to, but I didn't. I would have with my old computer because it's so bad at editing.
Yeah. I had what's his Zoltan.
Oh yeah.
I had him on my podcast a while back and divided it up into, we had such a same thing. It was part 1 and part 2. It was honestly like 3 hours. We just turned it on and we're talking and laughing and talking about old jobs, what your first job was and that kind of, it's easy when you're doing this stuff just to not pay attention and, and go.
Yeah. It's great too. It's fun. I think you froze up again.
Internet is telling us we need to stop because we're freezing.
Yeah.
The internet's like, okay, guys, knock it off.
Where can people find you on social media, Steve, and website and all that?
I now have an official SteveMcGrew.com. Okay. I had it before, but I ignored it forever, but I got it back. This is what I tell everybody when I do radio stuff. I always just say, Google Steve McGrew, because you'll find everything. My videos, the pictures will come up, links to other things. It's just easiest to go Google Steve McGrew.
There's like not some other Steve McGrew out there.
Right. Or stick Mudflap, Steve Mudflap McGrew in there, and you definitely won't get any other.
Yeah.
You won't get the Steve McGrew who's a realtor in Dallas.
That's funny. There's a Curt Fletcher realtor in Fort Worth.
Is there really?
Yeah. Someone actually used his nickname on one of my comedy flyers once. Like his nickname was the likability guy or something. So they used that on my comedy flyer. And I was like,
called Curt, the likability guy, Fletcher, tomorrow night at 8. And you didn't take it and run. You didn't like, hey, that's it. I am now the likability guy.
I should have.
Oh, one other thing I want to ask you before we go.
Yeah.
I keep seeing things on Instagram with people saying, I've got a Curt Fletcher t-shirt on. Are you doing your own T-shirts or a line of T-shirts?
Well, I've got the Sole Custody T-shirt.
Is that
what you're talking about?
It might be. I just I've seen a couple of times people are like, say, I had my Curt Fletcher T-shirt on.
Oh yeah. It's the joke I do about starting a Christian rock band with some single dads called Sole Custody. So I made the T-shirt. My friend John Patterson did the design for it. It's like 3 dudes playing. Like one of them's got a baby strapped to him while he's playing guitar.
So that's because I couldn't figure out. I didn't know. I knew the T-shirt didn't say Curt Fletcher. So I was like, I got my Curt Fletcher T-shirt. Like, what is he? Is he designing shirts now? He's got his own line of clothing.
I should know.
He's like Gucci.
That's my next project.
All right. Well, before we go, tell everybody how to find you.
Oh, they already know. I always say it in the outro anyway.
Oh, you do? All right.
Yeah, I record like a little outro and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Thanks, though.
Cool. I always like to pretend it's my show, Matter of fact, I may take the audio off of this and stick it on my podcast.
Do it. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, yeah, but you got the recording. It's recording on your side.
I can send you the MP3.
Oh, do that, and I'll stick it up on mine. We'll just share this whole thing.
Okay. Sounds great.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, dude.
Absolutely, man. Always great chatting with you, man.
You rock.
You rock. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
All right. Later.
Take care, man. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. A lot of fun chatting with Steve. My website is currently down, my In the Right podcast website. So I'm just posting all my podcasts up on my comedy website, funnyfletcher.com. Just click on In the Right podcast and you'll have all the episodes there. I'll probably just get rid of the podcast website and just post it on funnyfletcher.com from now on. And as always, if you want to join the Patreon, it's like $5 a month. You get the episode before everybody else with no ads and everything. Pretty sweet. Also, if you buy merch, if you use In the Right podcast, all capitals, no spaces, when you check out, you get 10% off of your order. I've got some t-shirts and stickers on there, some Amy Mullet buttons, and a poster for my 20-year anniversary show. Not a whole lot going on right now. I got a new show every Monday in Albuquerque with my friend Holly Bird. We brought back our show Dancing in the Dark, which is a live comedy show. We're gonna do a couple open mics a month, and then we're also gonna have a showcase and some theme shows going on too. So those will be a lot of fun. At the end of the month, I'll be in Tucson at Laughs, October 29th and 30th, which I'm super excited about. And then December 9th through the 11th, I'll be at Hyenas in Dallas. And then December 17th and 18th at the Jukebox Comedy Club in Peoria, Illinois. That's about it. Thanks to John Singleton for my outro music from Anesthesia. I'm going to see them play in a couple days, which I'm super excited about. Go check out. They have a new music video out. It's super awesome. Go check it out. And also thanks to Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup for the intro music. And they just finished a tour. They got a little mini tour on the East Coast. Pretty cool. So thanks to those guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We have 60 subscribers on YouTube. Come on. I need to get that number up to at least 70. Right? All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.